The suburbs had always been Maya's gilded cage. Now, returned to the decaying, quiet home of her childhood, it felt more like a tomb. She was 24, a college dropout, exiled by a combination of failing grades and a crushing need to be near her ailing mother. The house smelled of antiseptic and the slow rot of old wood. To distract herself from the sterile reality of palliative care, Maya retreated into the world of her blog, Suburban Scrimshaw. She specialized in cold cases, and here, in her hometown of Fairview, she had the coldest one of all, the last call killer. The killer terrorized Fairview in the early 90s, preying on young women and taunting police with anonymous phone calls. His reign supposedly ended in 1995 when the prime suspect, a local loner, was found dead of an overdose, a suicide note vaguely taking credit for the 4 confirmed murders. But the case was never fully closed. The 5th and final victim, Sarah Jenkins, was never found. Maya found the old landline phone and answering machine in the back of the attic closet, draped in a shroud of dust. It was an archaic, beige dinosaur. She plugged it in, the red LED winking to life, a small, defiant spark in the house's perpetual twilight. She told herself it was for authenticity for a blog post. The haunting dial tone. The haunting began on the 3rd night. Her mother had finally drifted off to a restless sleep in the downstairs bedroom. Maya was sitting at the kitchen table, staring blankly at the Suburban Scrimshaw interface, when the machine clicked. The tape inside, miraculously still intact, played. It was fragmented, distorted, like a signal battling through a wall of static. Heavy, ragged breathing, a choked, muffled sound, a scream swallowed by fabric. And then, a low, unnervingly calm voice. A man's voice. Time to say goodbye? Maya froze, her blood turning to ice. This wasn't a random old family message. This was a final phone call to a victim. The terror was profound, but the true nightmare arrived when the machine played a clearer snippet 2 nights later. Maya had been meticulously cross-referencing the faint audio with police transcripts released through FOIA requests. The killer's final, notorious call had been described as having a strange cadence, a slow, almost gentle rhythm. When the machine played the low voice again, "You shouldn't have answered, sweetie. Now you belong to me." Maya recognized the rhythm, the precise, low timbre. It was the same tone her father, Thomas Thorne, used when he read her bedtime stories. It was the same rhythm he used when he patiently taught her to tie her shoelaces. It was the voice of the gentleman who died by a single, self-inflicted gunshot wound in the garage in 1995, the exact year the last call killer's reign abruptly ended. Maya stumbled back, knocking her chair over. No, it's static. It's trauma," she whispered, her hands shaking violently. But the machine was silent, the red light mocking her. No one else ever heard the messages. Her mother, when awake, was too frail, too medicated to notice the faint, ghostly clicks. Maya was alone with her monstrous suspicion. The quest for truth in the journals. The gentleman was a ghost, a loving memory enshrined in yellowed photos. The monster was a chilling echo on an antique machine. Maya was torn between the duty of a true crime enthusiast, the sacred quest for justice, and the desperation of a daughter trying to protect her frail mother's final years. She began her secret investigation in the small, rarely used library her father had kept. She found his old journals, leather-bound, meticulously kept logs of his landscaping business, interspersed with mundane family details. She cross-referenced the dates of the last call killer murders with her father's entries. Murder 1, April 1993. Father's entry. Took the truck out of town for a job in Reading. 2 days of heavy work. Exhausted. Back home late Tuesday. Maya rode her bike without the training wheels today. So proud. Murder 3, November 1994. Father's entry. Had to let Jim go. Business is struggling. Spent the weekend in the shed, working on a project to clear my head. Didn't call Sarah back. Every single murder date correlated with an unexplained absence, a sudden out-of-town trip, or a solo project in the locked shed. The evidence was circumstantial, but the synchronization felt like a chilling confession. The pressure mounted. Maya began composing an anonymous post on her blog, detailing the inconsistencies in the original police report, the unverified suicide note, and the temporal evidence. She typed furiously, "The timeline is wrong. The killer was local. The killer knew the victims." The moment she uploaded the draft, the old landline began to ring. A startling, discordant sound in the quiet house. Maya grabbed the receiver, her heart hammering against her ribs. The line was dead, but the answering machine clicked on, and the audio was clearer, less static, more menacing than ever before. "You're making noise, Maya. The quiet is better for everyone. Don't call the police." It was the same voice, but this time, it was speaking to her. It knew her name. The line between the decades-old recording and the present-day threat was violently erased. The true terror was that the evil wasn't just in the past. It was baked into the house, waiting to emerge the moment she sought to expose it. The tragic outcome: silence, the final, clearest recording played in the early hours of Sunday morning. It wasn't a call to a victim. It was the chilling, raw sound of a man struggling with himself. "I can't stop. They'll find me. I should have stopped with the first one. Sarah's still out there. I put her where no one will ever find her, not even the police." Maya, trembling, wrote down the geographic location her father muttered: the old creek bed near the defunct mill. It was a place he took her fishing when she was a little girl. She ran upstairs to the attic, her legs shaking with adrenaline and grief. She went straight to the corner of the closet, the place she'd rarely visited since she was a teenager. The final piece of evidence, she knew, would be there. Behind a false panel in the wall, she found a small, heavy, wooden box. Inside, nestled on a bed of yellowed silk, were two objects: a delicate gold locket, intricately etched with the initials S.J. Sarah Jenkins, the last missing victim, her father's bulky, black cassette recorder, the kind he used to record notes for his business. Maya's vision blurred with tears of definitive certainty. She pressed play on the recorder. The sound that poured out was crystal clear, raw, and devastating. It was Thomas Thorne's voice, entirely stripped of the gentle cadence, delivering a horrific, detailed confession of the 5 murders, ending with a shaky, agonizing farewell. "I'm sorry, Sarah. I'm sorry, Maya. I have to make the last call myself," followed by the unmistakable, chilling sound of the gunshot. Maya held the locket, the only physical evidence the killer ever left behind, now a connection to a monster she called father. The choice was a simple, agonizing split: justice or family. If she reported this, the quiet, decaying house would be swarmed by police, forensics teams, and the press. Her mother, whose frail heart might not survive the shock of learning her husband of 30 years was a notorious serial killer, would die in disgrace and despair. The peace Maya had struggled to maintain for her would be shattered by a legacy of absolute horror. She looked at the locket, the symbol of the truth, then down the stairs towards her mother's silent room. "I'm sorry, Sarah," Maya whispered, the words heavy with betrayal. She walked to the backyard fire pit. One by one, she dropped the evidence: the gold locket, the cassette recorder, the confession tape, and the wooden box that had held the monstrous secret. She doused it all in lighter fluid and struck a match. She watched the fire burn hot and fast, reducing the undeniable, monstrous truth to ash and smoke. The next day, Maya deleted suburban scrimshaw. She unplugged the old landline phone and locked it back in the attic, the tape now blank. She never spoke of the case, her father, or the messages again. Maya stayed, forever committed to silence, the dutiful daughter caring for her mother. The monster was dead, but the echo of the last call was now permanently installed in her own mind. She had chosen to bury the truth to protect her mother's final years, knowing that the greatest monster of all was the one she carried inside: the knowledge that she was the daughter of a killer, and that she had chosen to be the final guardian of his monstrous secret.